But this week, we only got one really big what we're watching, and I think it's what most people who go to movie theaters were watching this weekend.
Or at
Halloween
home.
Ends. Yeah, that's true.
Yes, sir.
Luckily, it is available on Peacock. That's how I watched it, because I was not going to drag myself to the theater for the third David Gordon Green Halloween movie. I have not really felt that strongly about the first two, and I didn't expect to feel too strongly about this one. Lo and behold, the internet is just very, very divided over this decidedly different installment in the latest Halloween trilogy, if that's what we want to call it. Halloween Ends returns to the events following Halloween in 2018. You have Laurie Strode continuing to preach the concern of Michael Myers, while the townsfolk all blame her for holding on to her obsession with him. But there are a lot of ways in which this Halloween movie, I think, differs from the previous ones. Art, what was your reaction to actually catching Halloween Ends?
I got to catch this one in Dolby. I caught the last one in Dolby as well. Last one was a part of the Chicago Fest. This time I was there for the Chicago Fest. I'm like, let me sneak this in before I go see Carson's debut short film theatrically. And look, the Dolby delivers. If you're watching this for the jump scares and the bumps in the night, the score, I think, is the one thing that's united everybody. It's still just as great with Carpenter coming back to do it. If the first movie was practically a reboot, the Halloween 2018 one, coming in to kind of redefine the story, having the characters literally tell you, oh yeah, everything you knew about them being like siblings, it wasn't really that, we're readjusting the story. 2, I'm still not the biggest fan of, but it definitely hones in on the kills. The kills there are so over the top that it may be too much. The themes, though, were a little heavy-handed. It's like, oh, this is what you feel about COVID and like mass people coming in. Okay, it's not fully there, but I see you went fully in on the kills. This time around, I think he goes fully in on the themes and kind of leaves the kills, which aren't too bad, almost as cameos, depending on who it is that you come to see a Halloween movie for. Thematically, though, I know this is where people are kind of shifted at. They're kind of divided because they don't like the approach that was taken for this movie, specifically for Michael Myers. Yeah. I don't mind it at all.
It's a Halloween movie that really, really sidelines the Michael Myers character. Like, he's
easily, yeah.
He's like not even the biggest evil threat in the movie.
Oh, and there's some goofy stuff. They disrespect him kind of. I heard some people venting about the movie and things that they do with Michael Myers with certain character interactions that he has, and I was like, yeah, it's kind of pathetic. There are some points, without getting into full spoilers, where I thought it was going to be a rom-com with Michael Myers or a father-son type scenario with him. But for the most part, I think the issue that a lot of people have, and this is the question I have to give you, do you really take the ends seriously? This is what really flabbergasted me at the theater. People were like, this is really how it all ends? This is how they lay him to rest? I'm like, honey, there's one thing Kills taught you, is that this thing will never die. And no matter how they try to change their lore or story, in this trilogy, after trying to fix the 20-something films, they still kind of change the lore in every single movie. This isn't going anywhere. This is just like your 007. This is just like your Friday the 13th. This is just like every other franchise. This is the end of this Blumhouse Laurie Strode trilogy. That's it. They're going to bring him back eventually. So I don't know if you actually felt sitting there at your couch watching Peacock that this was the end of Michael Myers, but some people really think this is his farewell.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely the end of something. I mean, I don't know if I even want to use the word definitely. That sounds a little bit too definitive for me. But, like, it feels like the end of something, whether that is, like, just the David Gordon Green version of the story, whether that is, like, Jamie Lee Curtis's involvement in these stories, and, like you said, the Laurie Strode character. I could see all those things ending, but the franchise itself, the idea of this like masked killer coming after, babysitters and teenagers, that's never gonna end. It's too easy of a money grab for them, right? Like, even if you want to like spin it off and it's like, all right, now it's about Corey or something, like, sure.
The idea of like it's evil spreading, that's what I like thematically about the movie. The idea that you can look back and see what causes someone to become this sort of evil, and can you fight it? Can you edge somebody on and then cock block at the same time, like Laurie likes to do in this movie? But I don't. If there's one thing that Halloween will never die. Really, is the way that I see it. And this is just a swing for the fences, if anything, from David Gordon Green, where I do feel like he changed a lot. The first still, I don't know if you remember, the first images from Halloween Ends was him coming out of the red line in Chicago. Where's that movie?
Yeah, not in this one, at least.
Not in this one. I feel like a lot was rewritten. I don't mind as much what was rewritten, but you could tell with a lot of the mistakes that they have here and there, and what a lot of people have issues with, that I feel that there was a big rewrite that had happened, and they were going to take him to other places, and it just, I don't know, it didn't pan out that way. So I'd be very curious to see deleted scenes or alternative scripts that they had.
You don't sound like you're too down on the movie, though. At least compared maybe to the other David Gordon Green ones.
Look, I like it more than Kills. I can't say that I like it more than the 2018 one, but like I said, if Kills really delivered on the violence, this delivers more on its themes and what Halloween, what being a survivor really is, which is one thing that I really like that was paralleled between the characters of Laurie and then this new character of Corey, who I feel like a lot of people have a problem with. I feel like the one review I've been seeing thrown around by everybody is like, oh, this is one of those movies where in 10 years it's going to be a classic. And I'm like, yeah, but where are you standing on it now? I don't want to hear in 10 years you switch your side, but right now you don't like it. I think there's too many problems with it to say that this is going to be like a misjudged classic. But I think that, again, thematically, it does stuff where you could tell that Gordon Green really understands the franchise, and while he does things that other people may not like, he went at it from the approach of like, what are the ripple effects that happens in this town? And I think he covers that town aspect and the hysteria way better than he did in Kills.
Yeah, I mean, I think some of the stuff is still some of the stuff about, like, you know, preconceived notions and judging people and that sort of leading them further away from society. It still comes across a bit heavy-handed, but for me, I actually kind of feel like Ends works better than Halloween 2018 or Kills.
Really?
At least for me.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to go all the way and say, like, I thought this movie was good. I don't really think any of the Halloween movies are good. Like, I'm like
the trilogy? Or are you talking about Halloween, like,
I'm talking about Halloween going back to John Carpenter, man. Like, I've just never really vibed with Michael Myers as a horror villain.
Even H2O? No.
And, like, maybe that just sort of makes me, like, not somebody who should pass judgment on these types of movies, but, like, at least there was sort of, like, some stuff going on here, some ideas. When it became, like you said, almost like a father-son thing, I thought that was hilarious.
I thought it was real funny too.
Yeah, I mean, there's just like I think the campiness worked a little bit more for me here than it normally does. And I don't know if a lot of these movies are very campy, but, like, I don't know. There's like an absurd quality to some of it, especially like how things kick off are so extreme.
I love the intro. I thought the intro
it's kind of great. It's kind of great. And, like, honestly, the worst thing about this, I guess, is that, like, it doesn't really feel like a Halloween Mike Myers movie, but that's not what I look for anyway, because I don't enjoy those. So I had a decent time with this one. I don't think it was good, but I went into it expecting to hate it, and I didn't.
I had a pretty solid time with it. I don't think that in terms of the kills, it delivers and respects Michael Myers for a Halloween Ends type movie, but I think that it sets the ball rolling for what the future could hold in terms of Halloween projects. I don't think Blumhouse is going to continue with it. I think they're done with it, even though he's now like the beginning of their logo. The new Blumhouse logo begins with him out in the woods. But, hey, I don't know. Give Green a fourth one. Maybe that'll be it. Fourth time's the charm.